Right, okay guys, so before we get into the topic of the video, I have noticed that quite a few people have come over to the channel recently that are clearly into the Commodore 64. So I just wanted to say here that the plan is every Friday now I'm going to cover some sort of micro. And the reason I say some sort of micro was because I've recently picked something up other than the Commodore 64. That's right guys, I have joined the dark side. I have picked up a Spectrum 128K plus 2A. Right, there's a bit of a story with this one, so we're going to get into it. Right, so as a kid, as you probably know watching the channel, my first introduction to gaming really, I mean my first introduction was an LCD game at school, but my first introduction to computers and gaming was the Commodore 64. Now, at the time I saved up my paper round money and that was how I bought it, because we grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. I had to earn my own money to buy these things. And at the time, my sister's boyfriend was telling me, you don't want to get a Spectrum, you don't want to get an Amstrad, they're terrible, get a Commodore 64. Now, before everyone starts clicking off the video, because I've just said that, that's what he said, not me. So he told me, do not get one of those. You want a Commodore 64, they're much better. So obviously that's what I went with. And I loved my Commodore 64, and I still do now. However, there are other channels that cover this particular device. One of those being Sega Zombie, he loves his Spectrum. The other one being Paul over at Retrobait. Again, he's recently got one of these. But the guy that really inspired me to pick up one of these is Ginger Hippie Gaming, Si. And the reason for that is because he's got so much love for this device. He's got so much nostalgia for it. Now, admittedly, I have not got any nostalgia for this device. But when you hear someone speak about something so fondly, you can't help but think, did I miss something there? And I can tell you through watching these videos, I clearly did. Now, this might get a bit controversial here, guys. Is it graphically as good as the Commodore 64? No. Does it sound as good as the Commodore 64? Not really. However, there was a massive library released on this thing, and it's still being released today. And the main reason why I've picked this up is because there is a huge homebrew market for this. So many great games out on this. One of them being Ooze, which I really need to get. And I really need to play it. I've seen other channels play it, it looks fantastic. Like I say, is it as good as the Commodore 64? Graphically, no. Sound-wise, no. However, these games do look great for what they are. Now, this is the thing. I bought this off Facebook Marketplace. It was cheap. Paid probably half what it's worth. Come with a bunch of games. The gun, the power pack, everything was there. Even the RGB SCART cable. However, there's a problem. I booted it up. Yep, power's on fine. Stick a tape in. It's loading. Get so far and then it fails. In fact, it glitches out on the screen. And I'm going to show a shot of that right now. Just so any of you guys can see this. Because obviously, I'm not familiar with this particular device. Not like some of you guys are. So if you've got any advice here, guys, just drop it in the comments below. Because there is a problem. Now, initially, I spoke to Si and Paul and Scott. And they were all saying to me, it's probably the belt drive. Which didn't surprise me really. Because when I got my Commodore 64, I had to replace the belt drive in that also. So right now you're going to see a little bit of footage of me replacing the belt drive and just giving the inside a bit of a clean. Right, so you might have noticed that I said just before I showed you me doing the belt drive that there's an issue with this, and I showed you that picture of it all glitching out as it's loading. So basically what it is it's clearly not the belt drive. A lot of the guys, Si, Paul, Scott, all seem to think that it could well be the RAM. Now at the time was short. I haven't had time to really carry on with that, so I had to basically do it all back up. I'll have to have a look at it later. But we're going to do the touch test at some point and see if the RAM gets hot. And if it does, then we know that that's a failure. So, like I say, we're not 100%. We're kind of throwing mud at the wall, see what sticks. But guys, any of you guys watching this that are Spectrum fans, that know your Spectrums inside and out, if you've got any idea what the problem is with this, please let me know. Because I really want to get this thing back to its former glory. I mean, this is an old computer now, and it's nice to keep these things working. And I don't want to go and buy another one that's been, you know, refurbished and recapped and all that. I want to save this one, because otherwise it's another Spectrum on a scrap heap. And I just think that's a tragedy, you know. So guys, anyone who's watching this, if you know what this fault is, have a good idea, please let me know, because I've Googled it and I'm getting all sorts of answers. I really, if someone knows what the pinpoint problem is, please let me know. Right, so that's all I wanted to talk to you about, guys. I mean, admittedly, it's a bit of a failure. I was hoping to do this video and show you this great device, but obviously there's a problem and I need help. So any help is welcome, guys. Right, okay, until the next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.